Welcome back to Teushenthal, the Grand Prix of Germany, the final round of the 2012 FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. My name's Paul Mayne, and you join us live, as usual, trackside here. As the MX1 riders make their final preparations on their sighting lap. We've got a great crowd here this weekend, and they're all here to see Max Nagel and Ken Roczen try and go for the top step of the podium. Well, Tony Cairoli, of course, was crowned world champion 2 weeks ago at the Grand Prix of Europe on home soil in Faenza. Clement Sal, he's guaranteed second place as well. But Gauthier Paulin and Christophe Pourcel, they're going after third. Just 6 points separate the two Frenchmen, both on Kawasaki's. Kenda Dijker has an outside chance as well. 18 points behind Pourcel and just a few points behind Gauthier Paulin. But Kevin Strijbosso looking like 6th place is good for him. Xavier Bourg 7th. Tano Leo has a chance as well, stealing the top 7 place, but didn't ride too good in qualifying yesterday. Rui Gonçalves didn't ride the qualifier yesterday in night. And Sean Simpson, he can maybe break into the top 10 with a good result here this weekend. Track 1,635 meters long. Fairly flat start. Slight brow as they meet the midway point. Obviously can't see the first turn as well before they get to that crest, and then as they pass that crest they hit that right-hand turn and drop downhill for the first time through the left-hander. Turn 2, the tight right, turn 3, and then over the finish line just after turn 4. We're going down to the grid. Here's Amy.
We're back down on the start line for the final MX1 GP race of the year. Bobby, how's your thumb? I know you injured it yesterday in qualifying.
Yeah, it was like, it's really a shame what's happening with me this year. Like yesterday, I break my ligament, so like you can see it's really swollen. So for me, it's really difficult to hold the bike. It's really giving me a lot of problem. I'm like just 70% of my speed. I could not go. I'm just saving every way myself, you know, like braking, jumping and accelerating. So it's really tough. So I get some painkillers, but I hope it's gonna be all right, you know.
Bobby, we'll wish you better luck for next year. Let's move down and also have a word with Josh. We saw Josh return to the GPs in Faenza. How was it?
It was all right. First race went okay, but second race was pretty tired.
How are you feeling this weekend?
A little bit better, a little bit more training, second race on the bike, and it's not as hot and over the jet lag, so hoping for a slightly better result.
Thanks, Josh, all the best. And let's move down and also have a word with Sean Simpson. Sean, how would you sum up your year?
I think this year's been good. You know, we had some changes in the middle of the season with teams and things like that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stay with the Yamaha team next year with Rinaldi, so I'm still searching and trying to put pen on paper for next year at the moment. But I feel like I've ended the year strong, and you know, let's hope that I can get a good team behind me in 2013 and be back up front and hopefully go even better than I did this year. So looking forward to it.
Enjoy this final GP. Right before we see the MX1 Moto 1, we're going to take a look behind the scenes of SCR KTM. You're one of the few private teams of the paddock. How difficult is it to compete against some of the bigger teams?
Yeah, it can be quite difficult. We haven't got the budgets that the big teams have got, but we work hard and we've got a good team environment. And yeah, I think it's not too bad.
But you've shown with the right riders, and if their desire is strong, you can pull out some good results.
Yeah, if you've got the right riders and help from like KTM really support as well. It's been a great move moving to KTM. So yeah, if you've got a good rider, good bike, good mechanics, good team environment, it works well. Hopefully it's shown with the results.
And the back end of the season, you've brought in Jamie and Brian.
Yeah, we had a lot of bad luck with injuries this year. Nathan injured himself in Mexico and he was out until Czechoslovakia, and then he injured himself again at the British GP. And then Mattis was going really well until Sweden, and then he had a big crash in Sweden and he injured his back again this year, and he's out for the season also. So we had to draft in some replacements. Jamie came in for Mattis, and then Brian McKenzie came in for Nathan. So yeah, they've done well since they came in.
This was the first year for me in MX1, and I really was surprised about my results. I wanted to have a little bit better, but I knew I'm close to top 10, and until Sweden everything was good, and it was like half season, and I knew in second half I would get even better, but then that accident happened to me. Recovery's getting better now, and really I want to race, but doctor said I should be patient, heal my bones properly, and then slowly get ready for next year. For next year, I have to say big thank you to Team SDR, and they want to keep me. I have a deal with them for next year, and I'm really happy. And they see when I can do good results, and that's what I wanted to get this year, but I will do it next year again.
Jamie, you stepped in for the injured Matthias Caru. How have you found it in MX1?
It's been really good. It's been a good experience. My first GP I done was in France. That was a little bit daunting. The track was really hard back and steep hills, so I was a little bit, didn't know what to expect, but got that one under my belt. And then from then, I picked up a little bit of momentum, scored a few points, and got the buzz for it now.
Were you surprised you picked up points?
Well, you never know what to expect, and you watch them on TV and they look so fast. They are so fast, but you just have to try and raise your game a little bit to run with them. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but now I've got points. I just want to keep getting more and more and more, and keep going forward.
And now you've had a taste of the GP season. Is it something you'd like to do more of?
Definitely, yeah. I've got a taste of the GPs now. I really like the way they're set up. The longer races kind of suit me, and yeah, I'd like to do it next year as well.
Ryan, you stepped in at the back end of the season. How have you found it, and have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been really good. I'm really happy to be here and to be given this opportunity. It's very unfortunate of the circumstances that came about with Nez Parker being injured, but I've scored points already, and I'm just looking to improve again and hopefully have a great day.
Rennen der WM 2012 gehen. Max Nagel, wie gesagt, er ist sehr spät eingestiegen, aber schon wieder aufs Podium gefahren und Premiere.
The FIM MX1 race about to get underway here. It's the 16th and final round of the 2012 World Championship season. Tony Cairoli there in the centre of the grid, 222. Alongside him, the number 25 and the number 12. Cairoli, though, was the winner in the qualifying race yesterday from Max Nagel and Ken Roczen. So as a Red Bull KTM 123, Sean Simpson was fourth after starting and leading the race. Eventually coming under pressure and being passed by the three KTMs ahead of him, but he was a comfortable fourth place over Gauthier Paul and Kenda Dijker. Came from about 10th to get back to sixth place. Josh Coppins, good start for him. Just heard him in the pre-grid. So it's a little bit cooler. He's over the jet lag, so who knows? Maybe a top 5, top 6 finish for him this weekend as he prepares for what would be his final Grand Prix, and of course 1 week away from the FIM Motocross Nations as well, representing New Zealand yet again, despite saying a couple of years ago that he probably wouldn't do it again, give it the time to the young riders. But DeSalle qualified in 8th. Gregory Randa was 9th, and Jonathan Barragan was 10th. Christophe Pourcel, though, who's going for 3rd place with Gauthier Paulin, qualified down in 16th. So all eyes going to be on the two Frenchmen, because Cairoli, DeSalle, they're already guaranteed the first 2 positions. The gate about to drop here at Teufelstal. Tony Cairoli takes a look over, and he gives himself plenty of room, but his teammate Max Nagel up the inside runs him wide. Oh, we've got a rider, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys down there. One of them, Gregory Aranda, the number 30. Number 7, Jonathan Barragan. Is that Sean Simpson? It is, at the top of the hill. And I couldn't quite make out who the other rider was at the top, but certainly Gregory Aranda, Sean Simpson getting caught right out there as they went through that first turn. But over the jumps for the first time, Max Nagel, Tony Cairoli and Ken Roczen in there in 3rd. So the 3 KTMs, DeSalle 4th, Gauthier Paulin in 5th. So pretty much what we wanted to see Christoph Porcel gets a good start, so he's right behind the guy he's going to be doing battle with for third place in the championship. So everybody pretty much, apart from Sean Simpson, where they need to be. Even Bobby's in there, Evgeny Bobryshev, the big Russian. But Max Nagel, you listen to the wall of noise when he comes out of the next right-hander at the top of the hill here. He'll come through the left and on the plateau. The wall of noise will be absolutely insane for him. And Roxon, that's their first and third at the moment. Really was electrifying through there yesterday. So Cairoli there, 2:22 in second, 94 in the orange and blue. Ken Roxon in third, the 25 of the Sal in fourth place. Cairoli takes a look over his shoulder. Cairoli in those fluorescent boots that he wore courtesy of City last week or 2 weeks ago in Faenza. Matched the helmet, of course, but this will be interesting to see how this plays out, because Tony Cairoli got by Sean Simpson pretty early on in the qualifying race. These guys had to catch him, and when they did get to second and third, Cairoli was just a little bit too far away. So now they're all here, three of them together. Of course, Ken Roxon, number 94, the third rider there, riding his first ever FIM MX1 Motocross Grand Prix. Was world champion last year in MX2. He's had the year in the USA, riding in the lightest division in Supercross and Outdoor Nationals, but hasn't gone according to plan. He only picked up one race win in the Outdoor Series. He was expecting so much more, but here he is, riding his home Grand Prix here at Teushenthal, the scene where he picked up his first ever Grand Prix victory back in 2009 on a Tekka Suzuki in what was only his fifth ever World Championship event. DeSalle in fourth place, Paulin in fifth, sixth is Christoph Porcel, seventh for Ken Dyker, eighth Evgeny Bobryshev. Roxon looking to find a way past Tony Cairoli on the right-hand side here in the blue. Goes for the double single option, and to the inside, Cairoli runs it wide, and the crowd erupt here as Roxon goes second behind his fellow countryman of Germany, Max Nagel. So it's a German 1-2, a KTM 1-2-3, and Commander Sal there waiting in the wings in fourth on that yellow Rockstar Energy Suzuki Wild MX1 machine. Gauthier Paulin, the factory Kawasaki. Listen to this noise here. Final round of the season. We always knew it would be loud, and it's getting louder. Tony Cairoli, though, he's been down this road before. He'll let these two guys get on with it for now, give them the crowd what they want, but be interesting to see whether he decides to go after them or just let them have it. Roxon couldn't find a way past Nagel yesterday in the qualifying race. We're on board here with, is that DeSalle, I think, maybe? Or Tano Leon. Tano Leon. Ooh, DeSalle just losing the... And that caught Sean Simpson out. Then Barragan. And who was the guy that went over the handlebars there? One of them was around here. Max Nagel, our race leader. Still plenty of time to run in this first FIM MX1 race. The final round of the championship at Teushenthal in Germany. It's a German 1-2 at the moment. Max Nagel, number 12. Ken Roxon, number 94. Ken Roxon normally rides the MX2, the 250 machine. Riding a 450 this weekend, though. He came back a few weeks ago, rode a round of the German Championship at Geldorf. Oh, Porcel's been off. So Christoph Porcel, he falls coming out of turn 3 and loses a few positions. Actually, goes from 6th place to 8th place. Remounts just in front of Tano Leok in 10th place. Coppins 11th, Kevin Strybos 12th, Milko Podizek 13th, Quineri is 14th, Brian McKenzie, STR KTM is 15th, Xavier Bourg, Jamie Law, Jeremy Delance, Austin Howell on the Stern Racing Kawasaki, the American 19th, and Jonathan Barragan remounts to get himself up in the 20th place at the moment. But quite a shallow entry here this weekend. Round 24, 25 MX1 riders. Final round, a few fatigued bodies out there, a few injuries as well. But the ones who matter, I guess, they're up there doing what they have to do. Oh, Commander Sal almost gets pitched through the front door there. That would not have been a good place to do it. Had to correct his body mid-air just to try and stop the flow of the rear wheel moving too far forward. Because, of course, when he landed there, he was right in the face of the next tabletop jump on the corner. Tony Cairoli looks to have settled down there in 3rd place. Nagel, Roxon there, 94 in 2nd. Tony Cairoli there in third. DeSalle, the yellow machine, in fourth place. The green Kawasaki, Gauthier Paulin, he's in fifth place. He's third in the championship at the moment, 6 points clear of Christophe Pourcel, who just made that mistake a lap ago and is now down in 10th place, or 9th place, just behind his brother Sebastian. Track's going to get chewed up. But of course, this race, a little bit rutty, hard and bumpy as well. Slick in places. Cairoli goes for the tight inside line there, look. Roczen goes wider. Doesn't quite get over the finish line jump there, though. We've had 3 laps complete. Fastest man on track that time around was well, out of our leaders, as Cairoli looks to mount the challenge on 94. Ken Roczen. 2 minutes, exactly 0.4 seconds for Max Nagel, 0.7 for Roczen, 0.2 for Tony Cairoli. Sets his fastest lap of the race as he prepares to wind it open and go after the German pretender here, number 94, Ken Roczen. DeSalle there in the background on the yellow Suzuki. Second place guaranteed for him this year. He's in 4th position. Gauthier Paulin happy to sit there in 5th at the moment, it seems. Tadika in 6th, Bobashev 7th, Sebastian and Christophe Pourcel 8th and 9th, and Leoc in 10th place. Kevin Strybos, HM Plant KTM UK is in 11th. There's a crowd. Welcome Nagel and Roczen. Hard, slick, stony down that bottom end of the circuit. Tony Cairoli putting a nice little scrub there over the Monster Energy Mountain. Looking good for KTM. First 3 places. Oh, Roczen stalls it. He stalls it. He loses second, drops down to 4th. So Ken Roczen just comes into the corner, maybe in 3rd instead of 2nd, or 2nd instead of 1st, and just went to go. The bike stalled. And we've gone from a 1-2-3 for Nagel, Roczen, Cairoli. It's now Nagel, Roczen, DeSalle, and Roczen then. Sorry, Nagel, Cairoli, DeSalle. Roczen now in 4th position. Didn't do anything wrong, just landed awkwardly. Locked up the rear wheel, wrong gear potentially. Realised straight away, tried to get his hand on the electric start there on the right-hand side. Fires up into life. But well, that's an easy pass then for Tony Cairoli. I'm sure he's going to go after Ken Roczen, Max Nagel, our race leader, number 12. But it was a short-lived thing then for the crowd in terms of a German 1-2. But they've still got a German race leader. Of course, Max Nagel, number 12, leading the way here. Tony Cairoli jumping a little bit short on that step up into that left-hand turn, turn 10. We're getting ready to go down to pit lane to KTM. But Nagel still leads though. Here we go, down to pit lane.
Joining me in the pit lane, Mr. Pira, the Chief Executive Officer of KTM. Another successful year for KTM. They've dominated all of the classes in MX1, MX2 and MX3.
Yeah, it was an outstanding year. It's the first time ever that we were able to take all 3 titles. And in addition, we took also the 450 title in the auto and in the US. So it's a dream.
Congratulations, all the best for next year.
Thank you very much. So it's a big...
Yeah, dominant from KTM this year. MX1, MX2, MX3, the outdoor class with Ryan Dungey, of course, in the USA. He wrapped that up a couple of rounds before the end of the season. He's going to be the team captain for Team USA at the Monster Energy Motocross Nations in 1 week time in the deep sand of Lommel, alongside his teammates Justin Barsha and Blake Baggett, Honda rider and Kawasaki riders respectively. But for the World Championship guys, 1 week before that event in the sand, they're here on the hard-packed, slick surface of the Teuschenthal circuit in Germany. And it's Max Nagel here, number 12, who goes to the inside, leading his Red Bull KTM factory racing teammate, Antonio Cairoli, a 6-time world champion now, having wrapped that up a couple of weeks ago at the European Grand Prix in Europe, in Faenza in Italy. His first ever world title on home soil, actually. Max Nagel and Tony Cairoli, though. This is the fight for first place. DeSalle, fastest man on track by about a half a second. And there he is in third place, trying to close in on Tony Cairoli. Roczen just behind him in fourth place. After that mistake, he'll be disappointed with that little mistake there, but he's closing in. He was about 3 seconds down on DeSalle as he came over the line, but he's working hard to try and get that gap down. Look, there is Roczen in the orange and blue, behind the yellow Suzuki of Clement DeSalle. That's third and fourth in the background. The green Kawasaki of Gauthier Paulin still in fifth place. Looking good for third place in the championship for him in what is his rookie season. First year in MX1. Different lines there from Nagel and Cairoli. De Dijker still in sixth. He's about 4 seconds down on Gauthier Paulin. Genny Bobashev on the Honda World Motocross MX1 machine. Down in seventh place, riding with those damaged ligaments in the thumb. Caught it on the handlebar yesterday as the front end got a little bit loose on him at the bottom of one of the hills. Bit of a tank slapper with the handlebar. And the thumb just kind of caught the grip and just stretched it right back. But out there, as we've always seen him do, riding through the pain barrier of Genny Bobashev, there in seventh on the Honda. Sebastian Pourcel, Christophe Pourcel, eighth and ninth. I thought maybe Christophe Pourcel would have gone through or would have been given a bye from Sebastian, but maybe realizing that actually now where he is in the race, third place is pretty much unthinkable. So who knows, maybe the motivation factor gone in this first race for Christophe Pourcel, but no lots of motivation for these two guys. Max Nagel going for his first race win this year. Tony Cairoli just going for another one. That'll be win number 20 for him if he finds a way past the number 12. Post-race interview, first race in Lierop in Holland. Max Nagel, when he finished second to Cairoli, said, yeah, this is where I'm at. Tony Cairoli is the fastest rider on the track at the moment, but I know what I have to do to work. But here he is, taking the challenge to Cairoli yet again. Crowd loving it out on that hillside there. A lot of people here this weekend in Germany. They'll go home disappointed if one of their two Germans doesn't finish at least on the podium. Max Nagel, Ken Roczen, look how horrible that rut is there. Nagel standing up through there. DeSalle in the background in third position. Panic rev there from Tony Cairoli. Just got pitched higher than he wanted to, then travelled further than he needed to. Almost landed right in the face of the tabletop. Playing a waiting game. Tony Cairoli, seen a lot of good races here over the years since 2008. Most of them involving Tony Cairoli. Remember the race to the finish line between him and Ken De Dijker, when De Dijker, on his birthday, riding the Ritchie Racing Yamaha, then just edged him out for a double moto victory. But Cairoli came from nowhere in the last 4 or 5 laps to challenge De Dijker for that win. And here he is getting himself lined up. Look at that, the flick of the wrist from literally 4 or 5 bike lengths back to almost finding a way past Max Nagel at the bottom of the hill. Of course, in that corner there as well is where Genny Bobashev outdid him last year when Bobashev took both race wins in what was another dramatic finish here in the second moto. Tony Cairoli, he won't want any of that. But I was talking to a couple of journalists yesterday, and we both agreed that interesting when you get a little bit of competition in the tent, in the awning. Obviously the return of Max Nagel this weekend as well with Ken Roczen. Cairoli just looking a little bit more fired up than usual in terms of getting out of the start and wanting to stamp home his authority. I am the team leader. And here he is going after Max Nagel now. Look, jumps it to the inside, switches his tactic. Keeps it nice and close between him and Nagel. Nagel, the German, leads, number 12. Cairoli, different lines for him. Working slightly better for him through that right-hander. Just getting out of the bumps just a little bit earlier. Here's third and fourth. Clement DeSalle, 25 on the yellow Suzuki. And 94, Ken Roczen. Those two losing ground on these two leaders here in that battle for third and fourth place. Paulin still in fifth. He knows that he'll be taking a few points off Christophe Pourcel, who's now found a way into 8 past brother Sebastian. That's not going to be enough at this early stage of the race. We've still got about 20 minutes plus 2 to go. And Tony Cairoli holding the inside, going after Max Nagel still. Nicely done through there for Cairoli. Likewise there for Max Nagel, picking up that front wheel. Smooth the line around the outside, but going to try and run it down the inside here again. Very quick down there, Tony Cairoli. Off the bank there, at the top of the hill. Nagel will be enjoying this, though. Of course, just announced yesterday in the press conference, Max Nagel signed a 2-year deal with Honda World Motocross for 2013 and 14. He'll be alongside Evgeny Bobashev. Still has a personal contract to sort out with Red Bull, who he's been with, and he credits for being able to use their training facilities during his rehab. But Tony Cairoli in no mood, though, for hanging around here. Slides his way up the inside of Max Nagel and jumps into the lead, pulls a cheeky whip as well, as if to say, yeah, take that on home soil. And Nagel then finds himself in second position, going after Tony Cairoli. Ooh, nice line as well. Not going to take it lying down here, Max Nagel. Be interesting to see whether Tony Cairoli now decides to put in a burst for the next 3 or 4 laps just to settle this score once and for all. Or whether, if that's the case, or whether Max Nagel goes with him and just applies the pressure a little bit. I don't see any Cairoli mistakes due to being put under pressure. Been there, seen it, done it on more than one occasion. Trying to square off Cairoli, though. Gets good drive. Crowd are loving this. Look at Max Nagel. He's led for the first 8 laps. He's not about to play second fiddle to Tony Cairoli, a 6-time world champion. The 222 there, just ahead of him now. It looked like the pass might come at the bottom of the hill here. Nazzarino gets ready to put the board out to Tony Cairoli. 59.1. Apparently that time around. And already, look at that, just in the space of 3 or 4 corners, Tony Cairoli has wound open that right throttle. And he's put 1.5 seconds between him and Nagel, just like that, without even thinking about it. There's Tasao in yellow, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider, and then Ken Roczen still trying to figure out the way. Take that, teammate. That's Cairoli finding a way past Max Nagel. Then tried to go up the inside here, and then did he run into the foot peg? Or did he just lost the front end coming out? Oh, Nagel's out! He's gone wide in one of the corners. Max Nagel, the Red Bull KTM factory rider, just runs wide. That's at the step up at the top of the hill, I think. He's gone just too wide. The corner where he went inside a lap ago. Yeah, turn 10. And Bobashev's gone through, so he remounts in 8th place. So he'll be disappointed with that. So that'll put Roczen back in the 3rd position. Wonder if we have that. Will he be detuned, demotivated? Will he go after Evgeny Bobashev and Kender Dyker, Gauthier Paulin? Well, here's Roczen. He was in 4th. The camera panned out. Already it's happened, look. Yellow flags. Just went too far in. And he's got to be careful there, has Max Nagel. Not wanting to say anything at this stage. Tino Leok down in 10th at the moment. Number 4, teammate 2, Clement Desal, who will now find himself in 2nd position. There's Roczen in 3rd. That might perk him up a little bit as well. Realise that actually I'm on the podium now. Maybe I can go after 2nd position and Clement Desal. Give myself a chance at winning the overall Grand Prix if I can get ahead of Tony Cairoli in the 2nd race. But lap time for Tony Cairoli at 1:59.9. Fastest man on track though, 1:58.7 for Clement Desal. That gap though still 6.2 seconds. Then a Roczen 1:59.4. So he was half a second quicker than Cairoli, but no match for Clement Desal. So Kenny Roczen, 18 years old. World champion last year in the MX2 category. Could have seen Nagel in the corner just ahead of him here, a lap ago. Won't want to go too far wide there, snag that fence. But it looks like maybe Nagel just ran in just a little bit too hot, because you can see the line clearly. Kennedyker in 5th. Evgeny Bobryshev there in the white and red. The 777 Honda in 6th. Max Nagel in 7th place. The number 12 fell from 2nd position just a lap ago. He's back on the bike. He's regrouped. And he's now having to find a way past the Russian Honda rider. Crowd still urging him on. Still very much a crowd favourite here is Max Nagel. Turns it tight. Going to square off the Russian here. Bobryshev, the Russian, riding with the thumb ligament injury sustained yesterday in the the pre-qualifying practice. Those holes there at the base of that downside. Have to really respect the circuit here. Every lap that goes by, more holes, more ruts. They're all going to dry out as well. Last race for MX3 this afternoon is not going to be any fun. Kennedyker, how deep that rut is there as well. Nagel has 2 riders in his sights here. Can go to 5th place. Gauthier Paulin, though, about 7 seconds further up the track. Comfortable in 4th. Christophe Pourcel, about 10 seconds behind these in 8th. Over the line for the 11th time. Again, Clement de Sales sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:58.3 this time. Quicker, once again, than Tony Cairoli by about 1.2 seconds. That gap now down to 5.1 seconds. And a 58.9 as well, so he's taken Ken Roczen with him. Crowd, though, getting into this battle here with Max Nagel. Not going wide this time, no siree. There's Paulin up in the left-hander in the distance. He's in 4th. Then we've got Dedyker, Bobryshev, Nagel in that order. .5 minutes plus 2 laps to go here in this first MX1 race. The final round of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship season. It's round 16. We're at the Talkessel circuit in Teushenthal, Germany. Tony Cairoli has 5-second advantage over Clement de Sales, and Ken Roczen is 3rd in his first MX1 Grand Prix race. Gauthier Paulin is 4th, but this is the battle for 5th place here. The 3 riders, number 9, Kennedyker on the Red Bull KTM, 777 Evgeny Bobryshev on the World Motocross, and the number 12 of Max Nagel, teammate to the number 9 here of Kennedyker. There's Josh Coppins, and the number 22. Getting a little bit tight there, Kevin Strybos. So Coppins now up into 12th place, it would seem. So with 10.5 to go, it's Cairoli, de Sales, Roczen. Roczen setting the fastest lap of the race just then. And de Sales and Roczen starting to just close in ever so slightly on Tony Cairoli. A couple of laps ago it was almost 7 seconds, now it's about 5.5. There's Max Nagel in 7th place, looks to find a way past the 777 Honda of Evgeny Bobryshev, riding with those damaged thumb ligaments. Going to make him go the long way round. That's his teammate for next year, by the way. Max Nagel signed a 2-year deal with Honda. That was announced yesterday at a press conference. Going to partner the guy ahead of him, number 777, Evgeny Bobryshev. So not sure he'll take that too kindly, but Max Nagel said he's happy with the Honda deal. Both riders are going to be created or treated equal. Same machinery, same respect, all the rest of it, which is what he wanted. There's no number 1, no number 2 in the team. Kennedyker, though, there, number 9, former Grand Prix winner here. Hanging on in 5th place at the moment. Cairoli leads, DeSalle second, Roczen third, Paulin on his own in fourth, and he's got one hand on third place in the championship as he stands at the moment. Gauthier Paulin on the factory Kawasaki. Ken Dyker, there he is in fifth, leading these riders through the valley and over the Monster Energy Mountain, followed by the 777 of Kenny Bobashev and the number 12 of Max Nagel. So that's fifth, sixth and seventh all going through there. Christophe Pourcel is 8th, Sebastian Pourcel 9th. Sean Simpson, who went down at turn 1, is now going out again at 15th position in what's turning out not to be a great race for the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Losing the front coming out of that left-hand turn there, it seems. Tino Leoc is 10th, Xavier Borg 11th, Josh Coppins is 12th, Kevin Strybos 13th, Milko Podozek 14th, 15th is Sean Simpson, Barragan 16, Guarneri 17, Brian McKenzie, Jeremy DeLintz and Austin Howell, an American on a Sturm Racing Kawasaki, down in 20th place. Jamie Law just outside of the points. Max Nagel, though, continues to push and find a way past Evgeny Bobashev. Meanwhile, Ken Roczen now has closed right in on the rear wheel of number 25, Clement DeSalle. This is going to be the battle for second position, so the next 8 minutes plus 2. So about another 12 or 13 minutes, something like that, between these two guys. Crowd really getting into it. De Dyker here, though. Got his hands full with the Russian and the German. Evgeny Bobashev and Max Nagel. This is for 5th place. Bobashev just getting pitched there. The middle rider coming out of that right-hander. Pitched out of the seat. Max Nagel, if he finds a way past Bobashev, how easy will it be to find a way past Ken De Dyker? Thought about squaring off, but Bobashev much too cute for that manoeuvre. Going to try and run it down the inside here, but the outside has always been the quickest option. Wasn't quite close enough. Will he change tack here? Jumps to the inside, no room through there. Right in front of pit lane, the work area. Now he's back up the inside, but again, oh, loses the front end as he goes through, and a leg as well. Keeps it upright, keeps it on 2 wheels, grabs a handful of gas, just powers that bike out of that hole and manages to stay on the rear wheel of 777 Bobashev. Cairoli, 14 laps complete for him, DeSalle and Roczen. They're still 5.5 seconds and 6.6 seconds behind, respectively. DeSalle and Roczen on our leader. Nicely scrubbed there for Roczen. Goes to the inside. He's taking yards out of Clement DeSalle. DeSalle will know that Roczen is there. He won't like that one bit, I tell you that right now. There's Cairoli in the opposite corner. You'll see him again here when we go to a wide shot. Tony Cairoli just coming out of the right-hander. Already gone, look. A great arena, this Taukassel circuit. Certainly for these guys. Ken Roczen, of course, Max Nagel, a little bit further back. Jeremy DeLintz goes through in 20th position at the moment, so Austin Howell in his first ever Grand Prix as well, riding the Sturm Racing Kawasaki. He's down in 19th place. Brian McKenzie, the STR KTM, he's 18th, just behind the Silver Action KTM of Davide Guarneri, who sits in 17th position. But Roczen, though, here in the orange and blue, the Rebel KTM. That is a horrible hole there in that right-hand turn. Going after Clement DeSalle, 25 on that yellow Suzuki, just disappearing out of shot. Mark Verpaulen, former mechanic to Ken Roczen when he was at Tekka Suzuki in his first year in 2009 as an MX2 rider as a 15-year-old. Now throwing the spanners for Clement DeSalle, the guy he's going up against here in his first ever MX Grand Prix race in MX1. 15 laps complete. 6.2 that gap now between Cairoli, who goes a 1:59.4 compared to the 2:0, or 2 minutes exactly. 0.3 as Leoc getting in a bit of a tussle there with Xavier Borg. Borg's gone through. So Leok now drops down to 11th place. Didika. Bobashev. Backhand getting a little bit loose on him coming out of there. Nagel still not able to find a way through though. And there's the onboard, Xavier Borg. Is he coming onto view? On the inside? No, it'll be down the end of the straight here. Sebastian Porcel was in there as well, but there's Didika. This battle for 5th, starting to get blown out a little bit now. Oh, Roxon's been off. So Roxon, a mistake coming out of one of the right-handers just before the main spectator gallery. I'm sure he's fine, but looks like 3rd place for him in this race. He was closing in on Commander Sal. He was setting fastest laps towards the end of this race, and front end going to get away from him, or is it going to be the back end? Ooh, lost the front. Tried to stand up through that turn. So disappointment then for Ken Roxon. Not able to go after Commander Sal for 2nd place. So maybe just trying a little bit too hard in the end, but an easy mistake to make through there. You're up on the pegs, you're railing the corner, your normal instinct is to ride around it sat down, but there's so many holes, as you saw in that right-hander there, that upset the balance of the bike. The ground quite grabby when it's wet, and obviously when it dries out, it becomes very hard, very bumpy. You feel everything through the front end, and just as he hit that, the front came out, the back maybe lost traction. Then he lost his balance as well, which didn't help. And then when he was going out of that turn, the ground was always falling away from him, so balance was always going to be an issue. But Ken Roxon, though, with 2.5 to go, looking at 3rd place in race 1. Tano Leok, Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1. The Estonian, number 4, down in 11th place. That's Xavier Borg just ahead of him in the right-hander and along past pit lane. Xavier Borg trying to go after Kevin Strybos in terms of the championship. 17 points behind in 17th. Strybos in 6th. 17 points behind in 7th place. Strybos in 6th place, but Strybos in this race at the moment, what, 1, 2, 3 positions behind him, so there's only going to be 3 points gained back there, so that's been 14 points going into the next race. Also, Xavier Borg was coming under pressure from Tano Leok. He was only 7 points back, but obviously he's found a way past, so he'll give himself an extra point advantage going into the race, the 2nd race, in a couple hours' time, of course. But Ken Didika hasn't looked comfortable around the racetrack, but he's doing a good job of hanging on in there in 5th place at the moment on the Red Bull KTM. And Evgeny Bobashev just there, flashing by on the white Honda in 6th, riding a good race despite riding with a thumb injury. There's Max Nagel, led for much of the race before being undone by Tony Cairoli, our current race leader now, who's 6 seconds clear of Commander Sal. But Max Nagel made a mistake. Turn 10, the step up into the left-hander, the hairpin, over on the far side of the circuit. And in the end, that might prove to be quite a costly mistake. Number 11, Sebastian Porcel, about to be passed here by 121, Xavier Borg. He's looking to try and take another point to close in on Kevin Strybos. Had a crash yesterday, did Xavier Borg, but didn't ride too good in the qualifying race, was a little bit uncomfortable, but looking like he's going after a few points here in the closing stage of this race. And look at that, almost up the inside of the 11 of Sebastian Porcel. Tano Leok there, number 4, then the Josh Coppins, number 6, Monster Energy Yamaha down in 12th place. Strybos in 13th, Milko Podolzek 14th. Riders have just gone through to complete 17 laps. It's going to be 3 laps then from here on in. Simpson still down in 15th place. Guarnieri 16th, Barrigan 17th, Brian McKenzie, Austin Howell and Jamie Law now in 20th position. There's Coppins on the black Monster Energy Yamaha. Sure is enjoying being back in World Championship competition, albeit for just 2 rounds. Obviously Faenza 2 weeks ago, and here in Germany, Teushenthal, of course, he won here before in the past, but calling time on what's been a A brilliant career for him. He said that he wouldn't do anything differently, wouldn't change anything. He's got everything out of what he's was given. Achieved the best results possible. Took a race win from Stefan Everts, of course. The only person to do so. He was back in 04, just off the top of my head, but that ended Stefan Everts' win streak and prevented him becoming the only rider to go undefeated in a season. But great to see him again in the Grand Prix, Josh Coppins. Of course, he'll have the Monster Energy Motocross Nations to look forward to as a New Zealand representative at Lommel in a week's time. For more information, go to www.mxon2012.com. Tickets and info all on there. Of course, the Monster Energy Motocross Nations at Lommel in Belgium a week from now, 29th and 30th. Qualifying on Saturday, race day on Sunday. For those who are watching here the first time, don't know exactly what the Motocross Nations is. It's a team event, 3 riders from each country. Best riders, therefore, from all over the world, going at it for the Chamberlain Trophy. Americans have a win streak going on at the moment, so they're the team to beat. A lot of European riders and teams maybe saying that Americans might struggle in the deep sand of Lommel. Completely different terrain to here, but they were there on Friday on a test session. So too with some of the European teams. Of course, a lot of teams base themselves out there in Europe during the World Championship season, so it'd be no stranger venue for those guys, but be a great weekend all the same. 3 classes, MX1, MX2 and Open, or MX3. I can't wait to get down there myself, but 2 laps to go in this first MX1 race. We're on board with Tanel Leop, still there in 11th place. Got Sebastian Pourcel and Xavier Bourg just ahead of him. 2 French riders, both riding Kawasaki, but it's Xavier Bourg, the official Kawasaki rider, leading the way here. That green helmet. He's in 9th position. Christophe Pourcel just 3 seconds further around the track than they are. As Tanel Leop looks to go up the inside of number 11. Sebastian Pourcel for 10th place. Hasn't made great starts, says Tanel Leop, but he's 8th in the championship. Took a 3rd in the first moto in the Netherlands, so got 3rd overall there at Leop just a couple of rounds ago. So he still has it. Does Tanel Leop. Just needs to believe in himself, I think, a little bit more. Get out that start, run with the top guys for a few laps. Get the easy work done at the beginning of the race, but here he is, going after 10th. Sebastian Pourcel just ahead of him. Josh Coppins not out of it yet. That's him in the background on the black number 6. Just behind them in 12th. Kevin Stryber still down in 13th. Simpson still in 15th. Brian McKenzie, STR, KTM, privateer team. In for the injured Nathan Parker. Down in 18th place, Jamie Laurie's teammate. In for the injured Mattis Caro, down in 20th. So more points on the board for STR Racing. As we enter the final lap on board with Tanel Leop, as he continues to find a way past the number 11 of Sebastian Pourcel. Tony Cairoli continues to lead, though, just over 5 seconds between him and Clement de Sal. Ken Roczen 3rd, Gauthier Paulin 4th, Ken de Dijker is 5th, Bobashev 6th, Nagel 7th, Christophe Pourcel 8th, Xavier Bourg 9th, Sebastian Pourcel 10th. The guy we're on board with then, Tanel Leop in 11th, Josh Coppins 12th, Kevin Strybos 13th, Milko Podizek 14th, Sean Simpson down in 15th place as we look at Tony Cairoli. Handful of corners away from the finish line here. And on course for taking race win number 20 in 2012. It's been a dominant display for him, actually, this year. Got Ken Roczen on our MX Live studio show. 2:15. MXLive.tv if you're interested. Interesting to hear how his opinions on the first race went. Checkered flag goes up. Tony Cairoli wins here, moto number 1 at Teufelstal, quite comfortably in the end. 5 seconds over Clement de Sal. There's Ken Roczen. He'll have to make do with 3rd. Just 1 or 2 little mistakes crept into his game there. But if he was feeling nervous, then, hey, he's probably going to be a little bit more relaxed going into the second moto. So Cairoli to Sal Roczen, then that's how it finishes in the first race. They'll get themselves cleaned up. We'll grab a quick word with them in just a few moments. And of course, Gauthier Paulin comes over the line in 4th, looking good for 3rd in the championship. Tano Leok over the line on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki, doesn't find a way past Sebastian Pourcel, comes home in 11th. So Ken Roczen then gets off the bike, goes to get himself cleaned up. We'll hear from him in just a moment, briefly. And of course, in a moment, we'll give you the official rundown. MX1, race 1.
In der Pause gibt es natürlich auch für diejenigen, die an der Strecke bleiben, was Nettes zu sehen. Nämlich die Monster Girls werden sich ihrer Daunenjacke entledigen, haben aber noch ein T-Shirt an. Genau. Haben die Fahrer, die haben noch mehr T-Shirts.
Tony Cairoli lights the candles, wins Moto number 1 here at Teushenthal, takes his 20th race win of the season. Unbelievable. The crowd make their way from that main arena. Tell you what, the queue at the Burger Bar is going to be pretty busy. Tano Leok already back down at Suzuki Garage. Briefs with the mechanics and, of course, gets ready for race 2. Official confirmation then for MX1 race 1 here, the final round of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship in Germany. Tony Cairoli wins by 5 seconds over Clément de Sal. Ken Roczen, a couple of mistakes for him, but gets him 3rd in his first ever MX1 race. Paulin was 4th, Ken de Dijker 5th, Evgeny Bobashev, Max Nagel, Christophe Pourcel, Xavier Bourg and Sebastian Pourcel making up your top 10. And it was Tano Leok, Josh Coppins, Kevin Strybos, Milko Podizek, Sean Simpson, Davide Graneri, Jonathan Barragan, Brian McKenzie on the STR KTM, Austin Howell and Jamie Law. In terms of the championship, of course, Tony Cairoli already crowned world champion, Clément de Sal guaranteed 2nd as well. He was 52 points clear of Gauthier Paulin, who extends his lead over Christophe Pourcel. So looking good for 13th at the moment. For 3rd place for him. Sorry. Ken de Dijker 5th. He's not going to move. Kevin Strybos doesn't move. Xavier Bourg doesn't move. Tano Leok loses ground to the Frenchman. Rui Gonçalves not riding here. Sean Simpson could have capitalised there, but only a handful of points for him. But he can still take 9th in the championship in the second race, can Sean Simpson. But Evgeny Bobashev, though, has jumped Simpson, pushed him down to 11th after race 1. He was just 3 points behind the Scots going into race 1.
Tony, well done on winning that first race. I know you picked up an injury to your little finger yesterday. How's that doing?
Yeah, I had a little bit pain in the beginning because I didn't take any painkillers. I don't want to take it. My condition is good, so I don't want to take any medicaments. And the first 10 minutes was a little bit painful, and I tried to find the rhythm. Ken passed me, and he was riding better in the beginning. And the track is not so easy to pass, so I was in the back of him after my finger felt better, and also I didn't have arm pump anymore because with the finger on this condition I ride a little bit different position, and I had arm pump a little bit. But then after a while I feel better, and I try to make my rhythm, and it works. I'm happy to win this first moto. Hopefully we can do the same in the second moto.
Well, then we'll see you for second race. 20 race wins now for Tony Cairoli this year.
And if you go back to the 2 DNFs at Sweden, since then he's won all but one moto. That was the first and the second in Latvia. That, of course, then sparked double race wins in Russia, Czech Republic, Great Britain, the Netherlands at Lierop, Faenza, and now here a moto win in the first race. Incredible dominance from Tony Cairoli, who's now a 6-time world champion. Second was Commander Sal. He was also second in the race. But let's go take a look behind the scenes at Sturm Racing Kawasaki.
We are a family racing team. Both of my brothers are racing in the ADAC series in Germany. And we do, actually everybody helps together. My brothers are mechanicking and my dad's organizing, also trying to look for new sponsors. And my mom comes to the race, so everybody in the family goes to the races and helps everywhere where help is needed. We try to help the young riders that come from the national series to give them the step to try the GP, see how they can do the GPs, and if they like to do the GP and if they have a chance to compete with the higher top 10 or 15 riders.
Robert, you used to ride the GP series for the team, and now you have more of a technical role this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend I'm here to prepare the bikes and build up the tent and make sure everything is perfect for the rider and the technical is perfect, so that's my job this weekend.
And you also have something else going on this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend on the German GP we always have the Dunlop tire service. We change tires for all the factory riders. Yeah, it's a pretty busy weekend this weekend.
Well, this year we only participated on 2 races, and we had problems with injuries of our riders, so we had a result of 25th position. And this weekend we have a new rider, Austin Howell, which one we got from an American sponsor of us, Engine-Eyes, and we hope to do our best result this weekend.
Austin, you've been in Europe now for over a week. It's your first time riding in the World Championship. What do you expect?
I'm not expecting too much. I'm just going to go out there and do the best I can do and throw down with these guys and just basically show everybody what I got.
But it's not your first time riding for Sturm Racing?
No, it's not. I rode the whole ADAC German Supercross last year, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm coming back again this year and going to do the 4 rounds over here.
And have you watched much of the World Championship before?
No, I haven't really watched any. I got to go watch the one at Glen Helen in California, and that was a good experience, and now I'm here racing it, and I'm really excited.
Where are you expecting your level to be against the other Grand Prix riders?
I'm not too sure. I haven't really got to see what their speed is this year, so I'm going to go out and try to get the best start I can do and see how I perform.
And Sturm Racing provide a good opportunity for young riders like yourself to come over here really and have an opportunity to ride in the World Championship.
Yes, it's a very good program they got going here. Bring over a lot of American riders and just a lot of riders in general. And everybody always has a good time and get really good experience.
Looking forward to 2013, we're hoping to get another US rider that do all the series for us, and maybe we can have a top 15 result.
Well, that's it for the first race here, MX1. Join us in an hour's time for MX2 Race 2. My name's Paul Mayling. We'll see you in a bit. Bye for now.